Welcome back, guys. Engine pull day 2, and we're gonna start with pulling the engine cover, the deck lid, whatever you want to call the hatch. It's got to come off so the engine can come up and out. I did some research last night, and humorously, it sounds like garage mechanics like myself have figured out a way to do this, and apparently it works pretty well. It involves putting a tow strap around the front bank of the engine and relying on the cantilever effect of the weight of the other bank and the transmission attached to it to rotate the engine to the perfect angle to come up and out. And apparently it works pretty well. I have to imagine these guys know what they're talking about because these engines have to come out of these cars somewhat often. So I'm gonna prep. I gotta wait for some buddies to show up to lend a hand. So in the meantime, I'm gonna get the car up in the air and start getting some fluids pulled out of it and get the mess out of the way early. Let's get started. It does have a magnetic drain pan in it and nothing on it, which is a good sign. Healthy motor. Someone please buy it.
The jam right here.
Man, look at the viscosity of that though, considering it's all bowing into the middle and streaming out. I've never seen fluid do that before. Maybe ZDP, CCCP is
It's like Russian or should be red.
not a big fan. Oh, there you go.
Excellent.
This is gonna get heavier.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna start draining downwards, at which point you can just bring it down. Probably just air in the system.
There's like a pump sound. Stop. Weird.
So now we need one for fuel.
Oh no! So Amir, Blake, and Andrew have all shown up while I'm draining fluids, and it's been a huge help. We're getting it all knocked out really quickly and just pulling other small parts off on the other side so that we're totally done under here. We're gonna take a quick break for lunch and then actually get started up top, which is where the fun begins. But before that, I'm gonna give you guys a quick tip. Don't do this setup for your fuel draining. I burned a garage down this way. I should learn once. Use like a real fuel container for this. This isn't smart. Don't do this. We're back from lunch, and the hatch is finally ready to come off. I think everything underneath the car is fully disconnected. I'm sure there's gonna be some odds and ends we find out about once we actually try tugging the motor upwards, but we should be totally covered underneath. Before I pull the hatch off though, I've made some witness marks, and I wanted to show you guys because it might be a helpful tip for some of you. Check this out. You can see here that I've made some white outlines around the heads of the bolts, and this is to mark where the panel is actually located on the hinge. Those bolt heads are actually movable inside of that hinge, and that's what gives the panel its alignment. It allows you to kind of adjust your panel gaps and things like that. These marks are going to shortcut that process of lining it back up when the car goes back together. It means we don't have to spend time trying to line it up. It'll just go back on and look good. It's a helpful tip if you're going to be taking off a hood, doors, a trunk, any panel of your car. do this. Very helpful tip. All right, so let's get this thing off, find a safe place to put it, and get the teardown underway.
Boys, oh God, you definitely need a fiberglass thing. I think this is where all 2,000 pounds are.
Is it really?
Yeah, come try it. I'm like, pick up the
So just finished up with what's probably the longest time lapse ever of everything, well, not ever, but in this shop. Of all of the pieces coming off the top of the engine, we've got the smog pump off, we've got the CIS system off, the AC system is off. I think all that's really left is just the intake manifold. And then we should be good to unbolt the engine mounts and pull the thing out. Everything's gone relatively smooth. There's been a few tight, places to reach. We do still have to get the top header bolts off. We need everything else out of the way first. And past that, it's looking really good. The AC system coming apart, we had all of the Freon sucked out of it, but it did have oil still inside of the compressor. And as soon as it came out, it started foaming and fizzing, made a big mess under the car. I think it's actually not foamed anymore, so it's not exciting to see. But and as is always the case, while I was holding the compressor up, it dribbled down my arm and into my armpits. So we're having fun, but it looks like we're really close to actually being able to lift the engine out. We'll see how it goes.
I think I'm gonna have the last exhaust manifold stud off.
Oh, you got the studs?
Yeah.
I thought you were still working on that tube.
Oh no. This. We're off. Cool.
See if it'll wiggle out of there. Oh yeah, it's going to the bottom of it, I guess.
Yeah, I think bottom. I don't know how. Because you couldn't get to these top two provisions, but now I can get these guys off and then probably get it out of the top with that out of the way. Grab a 17.
I can hear it now. I'm not buying a motor from a guy who pulls it by sitting in his tiny trunk.
These idiots have no idea what they're doing.
I don't think they suggest this in the factory service manual.
Almost. We're so close. All right, there we go.
Blake.
All right.
All right, I would like to get out of my trunk now. How do I get in here? Rear header is finally off. We got it from the underside with a bit of creativity, and it wasn't nearly as bad as we expected it to be. That's been kind of a common theme. I keep kind of preemptively complaining about how things are going to go, and they really haven't been too bad. The only challenge that we faced is getting the AC compressor off of the engine. There wasn't room for it to come out. We had to get kind of creative and make some room for it. But with that out, really all that's left is the engine mounts, and then it looks like we have to take the intake system off of the engine in order to lift it up and out. That looks like it's going to be the worst thing so far, but I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and hope that it follows the same trend as everything else. We'll get a time lapse going and see how it goes. The engine's strapped up. We're ready to pick it up and out of the car. I wanted to show you guys what we've pulled out so far because it's quite a bit of stuff and we weighed it because obviously we're being weight conscious. So let me flip the camera around and show you what we got. So we've got the muffler and one exhaust manifold. Over here we've got an AC compressor and the CIS pump system, whatever you want to call it. We've got wheel well liners. We're not weighing the wheels and tires, and we're not weighing the axles because we don't even know what we're going to be replacing those with, and they're probably going to go up in weight. We've got spark plugs and distributors, the ignition system components, throttle body, coolant reservoir, intake manifold and intake, oil cooler, some other exhaust pieces, a smog pump, some cats, and that's about it. Really, there's not much more than that. But weighing it all out is quite surprising. We're talking about, at the moment, 213 pounds of stuff right here, just in this. So once we get the engine out, I want to know what it weighs and see cumulatively what we've pulled out of the car, because we know how much weight is going to go back in it. Moment of truth, we're going to put the engine hoist over the back of the car. We've got the engine strapped up. Presumably everything's free. I'm excited to see if this thing actually lifts up and out. And I've got a tip to give you guys. I guess it's not hugely common knowledge, but it's way easy. On engine hoist, if you've got one, instead of, when you need to get it up into position, instead of sitting there, you know, pumping the thing for what's inevitably gonna be 10 minutes or something, just pick the arm up with the cylinder, you know, with the valve closed, and then just hang out for a minute while you're talking to your buddies, whatever you're doing. And if you let it sit for, I don't know, it'll be less than a minute. You let it sit for a little bit, and before you know it, the hydraulic ram will fill with fluid. It's actively doing it right now. I want to say it's probably just because of vacuum inside of it or something. But eventually you can let it go and it will just stay right where you put it. You don't have to sit and pump. For me, it's way easier. We just did this a second ago and I found that it was, you know, the guys here didn't even know about it and I didn't have to stand here and pump it.
You got it down a little bit?
No, I do not.
There we go. That's the flavor.
Okay.
Do you want me to start going up while you take a look and make sure everything's good?
Sure. Pretty big. A bracket that's gonna. Oh, it's not a big deal.
What about
Yeah, we're still not fully clear on the transmission, so we gotta go that way. You ready?
Yeah. 1, 2.
There we go. All right. Let's come up. Hang on.
Good.
Yeah, let's come
I
up.
think it's just that.
I just wanna. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, that. All right. Good. Yeah. Keep going up.
All right. Pull the hoist back. Pull the hoist back.
That's all I got. Although that got me a little bit to the right.
We are very close to the glass, so I
Okay.
want to. Like, there's a lake over here. There's like a gallon of coolant on the front.
Okay.
We need to. Yeah, we need like a towel or something.
It's
A mop, yeah, somewhere right there.
that little guy?
By your feet. Right between.
Take a
Step
squeegee.
over it. All right, come up a little bit.
Okay.
Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Should I go down?
Yeah, come back down.
You want to stop?
In that bucket. That's good stuff.
Shall I get under a pry forward?
I don't know where to pry from at the moment.
There's a frame rail in the front that I
I
got.
don't know why we can't come this way with the horse. The engine will spin.
Okay.
I feel like we're still attached to something maybe.
Much better.
Dude, we got so much more room now. And
It's
not
weird.
pulling it into the f***ing glass anymore.
It's almost like when the engine's disconnected, it comes out easier. Do you want me to lower the car? Or make it easier?
Yeah, maybe. Let's get a little bit higher first. Make sure that we can see everything.
So to get this out of here, this is gonna have to go way lower.
Alright, I'll lower it. You keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, just go real slow. I want to make sure we don't
Watch
hit the
yourself real quick.
transaxle over
Not
there.
under the car.
Good. Slow. Hold on. All right, let me get this coolant pipe out of the way. All right, we should be good there. Keep going. A little more. Hold on. Sorry. See if you can pull the engine hoist back in there.
You ready?
Yeah. Perfect. All right, lower it down more. That's exactly what we needed.
Are you ready?
All right, keep coming down. Slow. Okay, we're gonna get to the point where the alternator is gonna come really close to the roof over here.
Okay.
So nice and slow. Keep going. Keep going, keep going. Excellent. Okay, good.
Stop.
No, hold on, let me, I have the foam between the roof and the alternator. I just want to make sure there's a little, or the engine knot's still on this, and that's going to be the biggest concern. Ooh, the two engine knots. Okay. I think we can go, hold on. I think we can pull the hoist back a little bit. Give me 1 sec.
Ready?
Hoist back like an inch. A little more. All right, perfect. Okay.
Look at the size of that thing. Are you ready?
Yep.
That needs to be bigger than the P6 that came out of your car.
It looks much bigger than that.
Oh, I think it's sitting on the arms of the...
Okay, well that's cool. Let's see how much higher we can go.
We might have to lift the car back up some if it's sitting on the hoist. You know what I mean? If the car is sitting on the hoist, if we can't pull it out.
Oh. How much we got?
We're clearing the car, we're fine. Sky high on this thing, better hope this whole thing holds.
I'm like, as I'm looking at this strap, I'm like, as my hands are under this. Look, no, if this has 5 inches left in it, we're good.
Yeah, it's got it. I'm just not gonna like pulling it.
Yes. Alright, well, so we're clear in the front.
We're almost clear in the back.
Keep going. Almost there. Oh, just about there. Couple more pumps. One more. I think that's good.
All right.
Do it one more just in case.
Okay, that's clear. Now let me see if this is kind of wedged. Yeah, we're wedged, so I gotta come up with the car somewhere.
Oh, it's sitting on the legs of this? Okay. Keep going. Little more. Little more. Little more. Okay, a little more.
That's about it there.
That's it.
I'm gonna tap it one more.
Off of it.
I think it's still sitting on one leg. But
Yeah, it's still sitting on it.
and pop it one more time.
We got a little bit left here, and if I move it, or if I pull it up while you pull out, we'll be okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
There we go.
Ooh, we're leaking into the trunk. That's okay. Rotate that way. All right, hold on. Give me 1 sec. All right. Go.
Whoa, 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 easy, easy. We don't want to tip this thing over.
The engine or the car?
I mean, all right.
Now we're good.
Let me, whoa, that almost tipped right there. That was
Oh, over on you?
no, like this.
Oh.
Are we clear of the car?
Yes. Hold on. Give me 1 sec. I'm just gonna pull this leg over a little bit. All right. Start lowering. Well, that was fun.
All right, let's move this over a little bit.
You can go down more if you want.
Are we good? Okay.
We're clear.
Do this These hands. Sorry. All right, the engine is actually out. It's here hanging from the engine hoist. It is never going back in. If one of you guys wants this thing, let me know. It needs a new home. Now that it's out, I want to know what it weighs. It's the last piece to this part of the puzzle, at least. I'm being really optimistic. I want this thing to be really heavy because losing weight is my primary goal with this car at the moment. I'm hoping that it's going to be 497 pounds. That's my guess. If you guys got a guess, think about it now. Let's see what everybody else has got. All right, Emily, what's your guess?
I have the mature and calculated guess of 469 pounds.
550 pounds.
I'm gonna go with Emily's approach and say 420 pounds.
All right, so clearly some good guesses. We'll see how we all fare. I'm gonna start jacking this thing up. You guys keep an eye on the scale and see where we're at. All right.
All right, we're already up to 100 pounds. Ooh, 200 already. 250. 300. And climbing.
Oh my god.
400.
We're really off.
I'm feeling pretty confident. 500.
It's Price is Right rules, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Already eclipsed. Ooh, Mike, you're gonna like this. Are we up? There's still more? Oh my god. Alright, you gotta come see this.
Oh my god.
All right.
You're not gonna believe it.
611 pounds. That is astounding. I'm stoked. That's an incredible amount of weight. On top of the 200 and some odd pounds we pulled out of the car, it's close to 230 something with the other header. We weighed that as well. So we're at well over 800 pounds that we just pulled out of the car. I'm stoked. I can't wait to show you guys what's going to go with the car. That'll be next episode. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for being a part of this engine pull. We've got some cleanup to do. I'll catch you guys next week.